Welcome back. Let's see what I done in December in my Scottish garden. Our neighbor raspberry finally are sleeping, so we need to transplant. But first I need to choose the best roots. Oh, nice. Probably this one? Probably this one. Now I need to find the metals to be sure when I plant the raspberry I'm not mixing with the rest of them. One is here, one is there, and the theoretic one needs to be here. One of this in the back with one of the big roots and one in front. It works! Look there! Ugh. What? Now we have 4 different kinds of raspberry.
Today we are applying the winter tree wash to all of our fruit trees. This says that it's formulated to remove insect debris, dust, dirt and the accumulation of wax and other substances which are used to secure eggs on the plants. So we mix 50 milliliters of this with each litre of water. We've got a 5 litre spray, so it'll be about half this bottle, 250 ml per 5 litres, and then we're going to apply it lightly to each of the trees and into each of the cracks, specifically any angles or cracks where the eggs might be hiding. So I'm going to put the water in first. The idea here being that if it does foam up after I add the wash, that it won't foam up and take the whole capacity of the bottle. That's a 5 litre line, to my eye anyway. I haven't used this before, so don't know how effective it is. We'll give it a go. So that's 25, and then as I say, you're kind of supposed to squeeze it and it comes up the side here. So then that's 50, and we're going to do this to 250, so 10 times. This is why I said I put the water in first, because if this causes any foaming, you don't want the foaming to happen as you're putting the water in. If you saw the video where we planted this, you'll see that we've changed how we put the mud around. We realised that being up against the fence probably wasn't the best idea, could have caused early rot and decay of the fence. So we have mounded up the compost in the middle now, away from the fences, and moved the tree. So this is the tree we're going to start with. This is the Cherry Napoleon. And as I say, we're going to spray kind of quickly and lightly all the way up the tree, and then focusing in on things like here, cracks and nooks and crannies, just trying to make sure that we remove any possibility of eggs and larvae on the trees for next year. And the idea is just to give the tree the best start in the spring, so that bugs don't just destroy the leaves and everything and the flowers as they come out. So I'm going to come out, focusing, as I say, on any nooks and crannies. Try to go fairly quickly because I don't want to use up too much spray per tree, and we'll try to put a fairly light coating on, but you do want to make sure that you cover every branch. Yet don't wear your best clothes when doing this, and it doesn't smell particularly nice either. That's it. Do you think I got everything?
Yep.
One tree done. And this is why we're starting on this side of the garden and going that way. The wind in our garden always pretty much goes that way. You don't want to be spraying from that side of the garden and then walking into it as we apply this. So we're starting from this side of the garden and walking away from it And then any spray, if the wind does come as we're spraying, we'll hopefully spray it that way and not back into our faces. And I always go from the bottom up as well, because anything that runs down from the top just means it's a bit extra application for what's below it, right? So after, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4 trees, we're now down to just over 2 litres, 2.5 litres. So that's not bad. You can see that the winter has been so mild here so far. This tree hasn't even lost all of its leaves yet. This was my chosen designated leader, but that might change.
Why?
Because I'm not sure it put an end bud on for growth next year. I actually like the open centre, such as not having a central leader, and then we'll just decide which ones we want to graft onto. Less worried about the staining now that I've seen the colour of it than I was. I was worried about staining of the fences and stuff. This was the branch that we let grow out with a view of grafting onto it, and we may still, but there's part of me that's thinking, do I want to graft onto one of the higher up branches that gets more sunlight? It just depends, because your graft can grow quite tall quite quickly, depending if you get an aggressive branch that you graft on. So it is possible that grafting onto that lower one, it just goes for the sky. And with pear trees, that's kind of what you want. A lot of other trees you can bend the branches out to encourage fruiting, but pear trees not so much. That said, it's been such a mild winter, things are starting to wake up already. If you look at our neighbour's garden over there, you can see their non-fruiting cherry tree has already started to flower. And if that had been fruiting flowers, they will not fruit because they'll freeze off as the temperatures hopefully actually drop. This plum has a whole bunch of nice fruiting spurs on it. This is kind of what we'll be looking for on the plum down at the bottom, as we want to keep any branches that have these short spurs coming off with the angry looking fruiting bud spurs on them. That'll be the branches we want to keep. And then any that don't have that, they look more like this, much more friendly, just kind of, gentle leafing buds. That's not got any fruiting buds on it. We'll take that off next year and graft that onto the plum tree down the bottom, onto a branch that looks similar to that. But yeah, anywhere where we see fruiting spurs, angry looking maces, we want to keep as much as possible, because that's where our fruit's going to come from. Since all the reviews of this have been positive, I saw on Amazon, I'm going to take comfort in the crowd and just go. Plus, we're doing this later than I would have liked. I would have liked to have done this earlier in December, but it has been non-stop rain for about 3 weeks.
Yep.
If we get a stain from this tree, it's going to be an espalier shaped stain on my wall of the house. It'll be quite beautiful. We'll call it art. Well, it's not a stain, it was intentional art.
Yep. We'll top up the trays with fertilizer, compost and wood chip for next year. First, I will take the old wood chip. Why I take the wood chip from the compost? If my husband will be here, will say this wood chip will be all the nitrogen from the compost. Next step is I will take some fish blood and bone. Two hands. I don't know how much in grams. 2 hands is enough. Next step, some compost to keep plaque and bella away. And next step, the last one, will be the wood chip. A new wood chip. And that's it. Now I have my lot rest to go. At this rate, the graft is here, so we need to top up with the mud on the bottom, not on the top. because we don't need to cover the graft. You can do it. Ooh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. So, little bit of fertilizer. Mix. Next step, fertilizer around the 2 hands. Wood chip. And because we have 2 dogs what likes to dig in our trees, some little fence. Ta-da! I hope this fence will keep Lucky and Bella away. Thanks for watching. I hope you had nice Christmas. I'll be back next year with more garden content. Like, subscribe and comment below, and